Hello everyone, this is Dan Gramza and welcome to dangramza.com Market Studies for Monday, April 14th. Interesting week. What you're looking at is the daily chart here in the S&P 500. A lot of fundamental drivers around this. The tariffs was the big news. We did have some fundamentals coming out as well, as we talked about in the advanced video that were the drivers behind the price action that you're seeing. But right now, how did we finish the week out? Well, first, they're buying the break is what the structure, I think, says to us, and it does imply follow-through to the upside. A sideways move here, though, would also make sense. It really depends on how things unfold, especially with the tariffs. So a comment over the weekend, a deal that is agreed to over the weekend, can have an impact here on Monday. We do look for follow through, but not a dramatic move unless we have that excuse. Now, if you're not familiar with these charts, you're looking at a daily chart here in the S&P. And the concept here is what they refer to as a swing trade. You're trying to capture a bit of this movement that you see in the market. If you're not familiar with futures, the green line is a buy level, red line is a sell level. The dashed lines means that that's something that happened earlier in the week. Now, just to give you a reference, the difference between that sell level to that buy level here in the S&P is $12,100 a contract. The difference here between the sell and the buy level down here is $1,000 a contract. On Friday, the difference between this sell level and that buy level is $2,000 a contract. Again, just to keep trying to give you a feel of the magnitude of change. Take a look at the NASDAQ market. Again, we see a similar structure on the daily chart. A dollar difference, the sell to the buy level in the NASDAQ market is $15,760 a contract. Difference between the sell to this buy level there is $3,000 a contract. And the same structure in terms of our outlook for Monday. Well, in the Dow, the difference here between the sell to buy level, again, just to give you an idea, that's $10,155 a contract. The difference between the sell and buy level, $1,465 a contract. Can the buyers get the job done? Remember, you're looking at futures. They trade 23 hours a day. This will start trading 5 o'clock Chicago time on Sunday night. And what you want to see, whether you're looking at this in the U.S. or in Europe, you want to see Asia being positive Sunday evening. It'll set the tone for our friends in Europe, actually. So it's going to be important if buyers are here, we see their presence. Now let's talk about what's happening in the Russell. These are small to mid-cap stocks, and what we're looking for here, the difference between the sell and the buy level in the Russell is $3,850 a contract. Again, the bias is for a move to the upside in that market. In the euro, and the currency here, it implies that the euro is stronger, US dollar is weaker. However, the way we finished up on Friday implies an inside day on Monday, if not lower, in that market. Dollar difference sell to buy level in the euro is where it is, $1,275 a contract. And what do we look for? A possibility of an inside to lower movement in that market. The dollar, in terms of the Swissy, we're seeing the same thing. It also firmed up a bit, but got a little weaker going into the weekend. That could be profit taking. But the difference between the sell and buy level in the Swissy is $3,000 $3,512.50. Be cautious here on the long side, and the same thing holds true for Mr. Yen. New high, boy, that was really firming up, but it got weaker into the close. You should be a little leery of that. Dollar difference buy to sell level $1,262.50. Aussie dollar. Here's a market that also tried to firm up. The sell to buy level there is $620 a contract. Oh, I'm sorry, that was the buy level to this sell level. The dollar difference, the sell to buy level there is $1,810 a contract. It wants to get higher, but Monday and Tuesday are going to be very important for that market. British pound, also a potential longer term top. Be careful here. It's hard to imagine that the US dollar would get stronger unless we get something new out there. But what it tells us is that capital is flowing away from the US dollar right now. That's what we're seeing here in these markets. And if we look at what's going on here in the British pound, that difference is $600 a contract. It's in the same boat these other currencies are. But look at our friend, the Canadian dollar. The loonie is staying strong. This is the strongest out of all the currencies that you and I have looked at. And it's a sign that that could be leading the way for these currencies. The dollar difference here is $600 a contract in that market. Follow through, look for at least an inside day to higher movement in that market. Feel the same way about Bitcoin. It also wants to go higher, and in the notes. Now, interest rates. As yields go up, prices come down. And you're seeing over here, those are prices for a 10-year Treasury note. Now, the dollar difference, this buy to sell level in that market, was $437.50. The last two here, that sell to buy level there, was $1,625 a contract. Be careful here on the short side. This is a very logical, what I call equal and opposite in transition level. And the Treasury bonds, these are 30-year interest rate products. Again, dollar difference here in that market is $583.93.75. And the last one here from that sell to that buy is $3,750 a contract. Again, it's slowing down. We're finding buyers at these levels. Be cautious on the short side, which means yield would come off. This looks like the Canadian dollar, but it's gold. Dollar difference sell to buy level in that market, $6,700 a contract. I do look for follow through. The structure overall is still bullish, and the momentum now is in its favor. But don't look for a screamer on Monday. Silver is finally picking up to participate in these markets. It's not out of the woods yet. On Monday, you want to see this trading higher. If it doesn't, look for a sideways move. The sell to buy level in silver is $19,800 a contract. Copper is another market that firmed up. I'm a little skittish about this one because it does not have the fundamental support. The sell to buy level in copper is $15,000 a contract. If you look at crude oil, the sell to buy level in that market was $8,030 a contract. And what do we look for here? I'm looking for a sideways move. The market wants to drive this market higher. In that sense, because of structure, I don't think it has the fundamentals to do that. Feel the same way about nat gas. This is bullish. We do look for follow through to the upside this coming week. The sell to buy level in that market, $3,600 a contract. Over in soybeans, we're seeing some positive things, a weaker dollar. Maybe we're going to get some interest in these products. And we also have fundamentals now starting to support that market. And we got, well, let's keep it at that. Right now, the sell to buy level in that market is $750 a contract. If you look at corn, it's beautiful. The trend is still in play. It'll be interesting to see if this momentum can still carry. You don't want to see a vertical market though. 481 is that sell level. And when it comes to wheat, this is a market that's really been struggling. It did firm up. I like the move on Friday, and I do look for further movement on Monday, but not a dramatic move in that market. The dollar difference down here is $150 a contract. So structurally, a very interesting market. The first 3 days of this coming week are going to be very important for longer term action in that market. Well, today was a long one, but I hope you found something helpful. Look forward to being with you again next week. In the meantime, have a terrific weekend and take care.